Welcome back to the Out of Bounds podcast. I am Gavin Williams alongside
Charlie Calieri.
And we had a pretty eventful week 5 here. But first off, just want to say how you doing?
Doing all right, man. I mean, busy week. Midterm breaks coming up, so that's always nice too. Going home for a little bit, at least I am. But yeah, I mean, NFL season's been good so far, and yeah, we're rolling right now.
Yeah, absolutely rolling into the midterm break. Much needed midterm break. Pretty busy semester, but let's kick things off. Let's talk about a couple trades that are happening in the NFL right now.
Some big news week, especially coming out of Cleveland.
Yeah.
Of all places. I mean, you would have thought it would have been, the news cycle would have been done after the Joe Flacco benching of Dylan Gabriel last week in London against the Vikings, but the saga continues, I guess, for the Browns, and the QB carousel continues for the Browns. And Gav, you seem really interested in this Joe Flacco deal.
Yeah, no, I do. So Joe Flacco got traded to the Cincinnati Bengals, and something I just want to point out that's huge about this is Joe Flacco and the Bengals are facing the Green Bay Packers this weekend. And I think that's why I've had so much attraction to this trade, is because Flacco played the Packers this week, and he's already named the starter this week. So they're trusting a guy who's not only a vet, but a guy who has been through a whole week of prep against that Packer defense. And
they know he can get the ball out, too, and I think that's what they need. Jake Browning, he just held on to the ball a little bit too much. He thought he could make some more plays with his legs than he thought. Yeah. And you know Flacco's not going to do that. He's going to want to get the ball out. And if you have a Jamar Chase or a T. Higgins on your fantasy team, the stock's probably going to go up starting this week. So
yeah, definitely.
It all really depends on that O-line and if they can really hold up for Big Joe.
Yeah, and with that, too, with Dylan Gabriel, we saw his first outing as a Cleveland Brown.
Yeah, what'd you think about that?
Yeah, I wasn't impressed.
No.
I was not that impressed. The only thing I was impressed about was the fact that he got the ball out a couple of times. But if you're, I know you're a young quarterback, it's hard to transition to the NFL. That's why I'm a big fan of sitting guys for a year, because obviously I've been through that kind of a system before. And I don't know, just seeing like a rookie get thrown to a game and seeing him in a late game spot where he just has no idea what to do is what I saw out of Dylan Gabriel. And also, I just think that I really wanted the Browns to win that game, so that's probably most of my disappointment there.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think he played pretty well, honestly. Yeah, like you said, I mean, there's always going to be those like first game jitters, I guess, for a quarterback, but I think he settled in pretty well. And I think that obviously they saw something in him enough to trade away their starter for the first 4 weeks of the season. So that's got to mean something. And then something that you want to point out, I mean, your guy Shadur, now he's looking at being the QB2 in Cleveland. And I mean, how long ago he was QB4 for the team. So how quickly things change, and how soon could he be QB1 for Cleveland? Probably soon, maybe. But yeah, I mean, that's a weird rookie tandem rotation that they got going on at quarterback.
That's weird. I think that through the preseason, Shadur proved that he should have been not starting, but at least QB2. Didn't get that nod, and I think that he should have gotten the nod. I mean, I know it's only preseason, but the way he balled out compared to how Dylan Gabriel played in the preseason, which was very efficient, but I don't know. I still think that starting Gabriel this week is a good move, because now that he's familiar with the offense, keep it going. But I'm just curious where their head's at in Cleveland right now.
I mean, they have a lot of young guys in their offense. Judkins, they have Isaiah Bond, people forget. So a lot of young first and second year guys that can really carry this offense to the future. I mean, they got them for the next 4 years. I mean, they can definitely create some. And Harold Fannin, too, tight end out of Bowling Green. He's played pretty well this year, too. So they got a few young pieces on the offense. And I think maybe 2-3 years down the line, we could see the Browns as potentially a pretty decent offense if they can get that quarterback, or if Gabriel or somehow Shadur develops into that, franchise quarterback, quote. I don't want to say they're going to be the guy, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah, no, I agree. We're gonna move on to another trade that happened with the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah,
as trading away their star corner, Greg Newsome, and I just gotta say, for the Jags picking up Greg Newsome, I know they trade away Campbell. That's a pretty big move, but I think Greg Newsome is a guy that I've had my eyes on in the past 2-3 years in trade talks. I always wanted him to be a Packer. He's a dog. This kid's a stud. And I think that's a great addition to a hot Jag team right now.
I think it's an interesting trade because, like, you don't see many position for position trades in the NFL, especially ones with very similar picks too. Like this was a very it was kind of like a, hey, you need this type of corner and we need this type of corner kind of deal, which it's kind of rare, and it was kind of cool though because I think the Browns have made 3 trades in the last 48 hours, I think, as we're recording this. So I mean, for the NFL, that's significant. That's a huge amount.
And it's not even trade deadline yet.
No.
But I mean,
and a lot of stars could be traded too. I mean, there's some rumblings of an Alvin Kamara, or there's a lot of guys out there that are potentially going to be out there on the market. Maybe a Calvin Ridley will be out there for a team that needs another wide receiver depth. So a lot of people that could be on the trade. When is the trade deadline?
I'm not too sure. I can look it up right now though.
All right.
So another point of emphasis with this trade though that I wanted to bring up was, you already brought up, was like a 1-for-1, and we don't see that often, but I think that 1-for-1s could be maybe normalized if this trade's successful for both teams, because
I hope so. I think we need more trades in the NFL. I know it's probably the toughest sport to trade in, because you get so used to a system year by year and week by week with a team in a specific set of specific goals that each team wants to and philosophies that each team instills in their team, and they're all different too. So changing that mid-season is always tough for especially younger guys like this. So yeah, I agree that this is going to be a really influencing trade, I guess, for other teams to see how a team right now like the Jags, they're like, hey, Greg Newsome, he's a guy right now that can come help us win. Tyson Campbell, he might take another year of development. We need a guy right now though, when we're 4-1, to try to make a push right now to win the AFC South, potentially make a run in the AFC in a weaker year too. And then it's a good trade for Cleveland as well. I mean, getting Tyson Campbell, I mean, he's a pretty good corner. I know he's struggled maybe a little bit this year, but definitely they could develop him into something special like they did with Denzel Ward and Joe Hayden and all those guys that they had.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I just looked it up. November 4th, 4 p.m. trade deadline. But since we were talking about the Jags, let's talk about the Jags some more.
Let's do it.
Chiefs-Jags this past Monday night. What a game that was. And I knew we were up for a good game when we talked about it. It helped me realize it last week that, wow, like this could really potentially be a good game. And it was. And I was not disappointed. And I just got to give a little shout out to Trevor Lawrence getting stepped on, falling down, tripping again, getting up, getting ready to throw the ball out of bounds. Season opening. Sees Chris Jones just standing there for who knows what reason. Dives into the end zone. Go ahead touchdown for the Jags.
Duval. Great game for the Jags. Great game for that team, that organization, for Liam Cohen, for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, that's the game that you need against a team like the Chiefs, who, you got to overcome that hurdle of, they are the defending AFC champion the last 3 years. So, obviously, whenever you beat them, that's a big thing, especially for an AFC team that wants to contend like the Jags.
Yep.
And, battling back, too. They were down 14-0 in this game, and they ended up winning 31-28. So they outscored them 31-14 after, the 10:44 mark of the second quarter. I mean, I think that's pretty impressive, too.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think the biggest thing for that Jags defense was, how can we stop Mahomes with giving him 20-plus seconds? What helped him is a great thing that is not mentioned enough, which is the new kickoff and special teams. Because that kid, I forgot who returned it, he burned like 10 seconds off the clock during this kickoff. And that's just something to think about too. If you're one of those returners, do you say, hey, I'm going to let this ball, like it can land in the landing zone and go into the end zone. And you know what? I'm going to put my offense in the position at the 20-yard line rather than risking 15 seconds and giving my team a worse shot. I think that's something that special team coordinators are probably thinking about and probably not talking about enough at the same time.
So while we're on the topic here, let's talk about the new kickoff rule. What do you think of it overall? Do you like it? Do you think that it needs to be modified somehow? What do you think?
I'm a big fan of the traditional kickoff where everybody runs, everybody turns around, boom, how you do? But I love the fact that there are so many more returns. It makes watching football a lot more fun.
It does. And I like, it's definitely a weird, adjustment to see the ball being placed at the 40-yard line to start the drive, which is crazy because you see a lot more kicks go out of bounds now. Just somehow, I don't know why there's been so many out of bounds this year. Shout out of bounds. But you know, like it's just weird. I personally really like it, honestly. I think maybe they could change a few things, maybe changing where the players start lining up, maybe move it a little bit closer to the end zone.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. There's different ways to work it, but I think overall, I like that it adds. You know, they call it. You know, it's a third of the game, special teams. But in years past, it was really like a sixth of the game.
Yeah,
it was really nothing. It was
behind
like,
the flags.
It really only mattered if you messed up.
Yeah.
It was never a positive thing. It was really only if you missed a kick, if you botched a punt, if you messed up a snap.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. So, but now it's more positive things. Like you're seeing all these returns. I heard yesterday that the NFL through 5 weeks has already reached the same amount of punt return touchdowns as they did all of last season.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, that's something in and of itself right there. And I think the NFL kind of nailed it with this new rule.
I agree. I'm a big fan of it.
But anyway, with the Jags winning that game, do you think they're legit contenders in the AFC?
I think in the AFC North. I'm gonna.
South.
Or sorry, South. Wow, I got my favorite division in the AFC. I guess my mind went straight there. In the AFC South, between them and the Colts right now, and maybe a little bit of a Texans buzz that we saw a huge spanking.
Win. They needed that.
Yeah. But as of right now, I think they're the front runner of the South, just because of the schedule they've played, how they have played it, and how their defense has responded at times when they needed it most. I still have yet to see what the Colts can do against a good team. And
I mean, they played well against the Rams.
They did.
I'll give them that.
They did play well against the
and
Rams, and they played really well against the Broncos in Week 1. But who knows? You know, and I just need to see a little bit more out of Daniel Jones, because I think Trevor Lawrence has shown throughout his career some ups and downs, but we kind of knew what he had in him. I don't know if I have that confidence with Daniel Jones yet, and I know he has played really well. I just need a little bit more from him. But I think those are two front runners right there for the AFC South. But AFC contenders, not so much.
Okay, fair enough. I just want to point out one last thing about this game before we move on to our next game. That was a huge drive for Trevor Lawrence's career.
It was huge.
Because if he doesn't do what he did on that drive, maybe not even in the way that he did it too, with the theatrics, I guess we'll call it, him falling down and getting back up and then diving in. It was a sick play, unreal. But if he doesn't do that, he throws a pick on that drive.
Yeah.
People are just talking about the same old Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he's not going to Waffle House after. You see that? I don't know if you saw that video or not.
By the way, it was his birthday.
It was his birthday. Yeah, he went to Waffle House after the game.
I share a birthday with him. Oh, pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. He's learning something new every day. But yeah, I think the Jags might be legit contenders in the AFC. Hate to say it. Jacksonville might be back.
All right, we're gonna move on to another AFC contender. Your team, the Buffalo Bills.
Maybe not after this week. I don't know. Yeah, let's talk about it. So we did lose. We lost our first game. So did the Eagles. So there's no undefeated teams. Nope. Congrats, Miami Dolphins. You have something. Still.
They'll always have that until it happens.
They'll always have it. Yep. Whatever. You were gonna lose a game. This was, I don't want to call it a trap game. Divisional games I don't think are trap games because you play them twice a year.
Unless it's like the 0-16 Browns.
Right.
That's a trap.
But you're going to lose a divisional game probably at some point. We knew we were going to lose one. I just didn't think he was going to be at home. I didn't think he was going to be this game. I didn't think it's when we were going to have the whiteout. But things happen. And I said this. I said, we played such a bad game, and they probably played their best game that they probably could have played against us, and they just barely beat us. So that makes me really confident about this team, especially with all the injuries that we got right now. Hopefully Ed's not out too long. Hopefully Milano is, I mean, he's struggling right now, man. But hopefully this team can just get it together. And I don't know. It's just a tough scene right now.
Yeah.
Defense looks terrible. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So I'm gonna. I don't know. I feel like I might talk about this game a little bit more. I
definitely have more points that I want to talk about. I just want to hear if you have.
Yeah, no, I do have points. And Charlie's gonna look at me with a rage face that I don't think I'm ever gonna want to see again. And I know that two of the best listeners that are listening right now, shout out to Scott Williams, Frank Calieri. They're probably gonna want to put this on mute for a minute because I'm gonna get bashful right here. I'm bringing in my inner Stephen A. to bash the Bills right here. But I see a lot of excuses. A lot of excuses about, we just played a bad game.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but can you Tell me a few.
Well,
Or
I mean,
one.
we're just playing a bad game. Turnovers were a really big excuse that I saw floating on social media. I saw a couple about flags.
They
here
turned
and
the
there.
ball over too.
Exactly.
The flags were a little bit of a question because we did receive a lot more penalties than they did, and we were a lot more ticky-tack calls than they were. Like, they were doing the same stuff, I think. So maybe I'm proving your point here, but at the same time, like, I don't know. You can't watch that game and tell me that there were some plays that definitely should have gone our way that didn't. And I think there was more of those for us than them.
Okay. I'm not going to say you're wrong or anything. I'm just going to bring up some more points. I just think full 4 quarters of football, the Bills got dominated. I'm going to point that out. I think they got, pardon my language, they got the asses smacked in the face.
I agree.
You know, and that's a term I haven't used in a long time, but because that's a weird term. I don't know if you heard what I said, but like I just think that when you go against a division rival and you have a guy who has never played a primetime game and you have the craziest NFL stadium experience I've seen in years with a whiteout game, I felt like Penn State in that building. There was a SEC football feel to that game where you can take advantage of those moments, and they did not take advantage of it.
They deflated us. They did. I agree with you. They outplayed us. That's why. They outplayed us. That's why they won. I want to point out we tied the fourth quarter, the third quarter, and the second quarter. We lost the first quarter, 3-0. Okay. If you have the NFL MVP on your team, you should not be scoring 3 points in a half. You should not be scoring 3 points in a half. I think that's fair to say. You should be getting into field goal range twice, right? Right?
Yeah, no, I
Okay.
agree. And
Okay.
I think I'm gonna list off some points, fire them off, and then I'll let you go.
All right.
I just want to get through it.
Do it, man. Go for it.
I think that this was one of the best revenge games I've ever watched in my whole life from Stephon Diggs. That was absolutely amazing, torching. That was great, and he had nothing but good things to say. So I'm gonna point that out. He's a respectful guy, and he's a professional now. He's not that diva that we once saw. I want to point out Drake May rising to the occasion, almost a horse collar down to his knees, finding a way to get the ball out. I want to give a huge shout out to a guy who has been fumbling a lot recently, and I don't like giving guys like that like big shout outs, but it's resilience, and that's what Mike Vrabel's going to bring to a team is resilience. And one of the best quotes I think I've ever heard during a football game in my life. I'm gonna point out Aiden Gould, also known as Speed, Pats fan.
Pat's correspondent.
Pat's correspondent. We were watching the game. He fumbles the ball. The reporter goes, "Hey," like Vrabel went up to him and said, "Hey, like let's go." And Speed's like, "Let's go to the locker room. Take off all your pads. You're done for the night." Like I was laughing hysterically.
Yeah,
I thought that was really funny. But hey, bounce back, got the dub. I want to say one more thing. Just an absolute ball hawk of Marcus Jones. Getting that ball, that interception, that was an absolute play and a half. I want to point out that if the Patriots want to win this game, they had to win the turnover battle, and they won the turnover battle. And turnovers are not necessarily an excuse anymore in the NFL because it happens. And it's just how you respond to it. And I just didn't see any response from the Bills because how we've seen the Bills respond in the past where, all right, Josh threw a pick, let's go score 3 touchdowns now. I didn't see that energy that I've seen in past games where a turnover happens. So I want to give a huge shout out to the Patriots for locking down a huge divisional win, trying to make that an interesting division. I still don't think it will be. I mean, I think the Bills will still have that division scored by the 11th week of the season, but I want to give a big shout out to the Patriots, and I want to see what the Bills can do coming off a loss, going against what could be another trap game.
Yeah, all great points there, Gavin. Great points. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be wrapped up as soon as people think. The Patriots have a pretty easy schedule coming up.
They actually do. I did check that out. Very winnable games.
The Browns and the Panther. I don't even know.
They have winnable games up to like week 9 or 10, I think.
Very winnable games, right. As you were talking, one word just kept coming to my mind, and it just encapsulates the offense, the defense in this game. I'll even include the special teams, the play calling, coaching, the clock management, the timeout management. Lazy. Lazy.
Yeah, I agree.
I think, I don't even know. We were holding Josh back a lot. James Cook did not touch the ball very much. Once again, I love Josh Allen. I know he can run. He usually gets 50 yards sometimes rushing on the ground. but James Cook should have more rushing yards than Josh Allen. I don't think that's something, and especially when Josh has 253 passing yards. You think when, he throws 31 times, you think he might throw for a little bit more because he might be airing it out more.
Yeah.
He has not been doing that this year. I don't think I've seen him make a throw over 30 yards in the last few weeks. And I don't know why we're not just letting him go out, play his ball. Yeah. I mean, look at the end of last year. That month of late November to December was incredible. It was some of the best football from an individual player that I've seen. Like just the Rams game, the Lions game, the Niners game, all those games combined. Obviously cemented him as the MVP, and I think we need to get back to that and letting him just play loose. And I don't know why we're not doing that in the nicer weather part of the year. Especially when, I don't even know. There's so many things. I could go on for days about the Bills, but I think we'll cap it here because I could seriously go on forever. But let's get on to, your segment right here. Yeah. FMVP and MVP of the week for week 5.
Yeah, I'm going to start with the FMVP and a guy who also had another revenge game, Rico Dowdle. Wow. Unreal.
Can I mention something real quick? And I don't know if you were watching this game at all.
I was.
Did you notice one thing about this game that was just absolutely incredible? Eric Collins.
Oh.
Eric Collins, the play-by-play announcer on CBS, who's also the Charlotte Hornets announcer. He was doing the game for the Panthers, and he was getting hype. I'm not saying he was biased towards the Panthers. I think he was a little bit because if you know his backstory, he's like based in Charlotte, and they probably just needed somebody for the game, and
fire him up.
He was there. But he said at one point, Rico Dowdle broke off that 40-yard run, and he said, I think this kid found a home here. And he was getting hype. And
what a shout out.
I just wanted to point that out. Shout out Eric Collins because he called an incredible game, and he needs to do more football. I need that. I need that.
I didn't know that because we had Quad Box going, and the volume was on Jim Nantz. It wasn't on Eric Collins.
That's totally fair. I
didn't even know he was announcing, though.
Dude, you need to go back and watch the highlights of that game. I promise you, or anybody, it's worth it. He's incredible. Or just go watch the Hornets highlights. There's not many of them, but when they do something, that's why you get so excited. When they do something good, he gets hype. He gets hype.
So 23 carries, 206 yards, a touchdown, 32.4 fantasy points. Rico Dowdle, you are the fantasy MVP.
Shout out.
And for my MVP, I have a guy who caught 10 balls, 146 yards. Stephon Diggs. I have to give it to a guy who goes out to his old home, has a lot of respect for all the guys, a lot of love for all the guys, but what he loves more? The game of football.
He does. Yeah.
And I thought that was a perfect way to respond to all the slander that's been going on about him for the past 2 years, with him leaving and going to the Texans, now the Patriots, which is a division rival of his old home. And I think that the way it's not necessarily his stats that won him this award. It was the way he held himself, the way he is really becoming a leader, and just seeing that switch in his personality and seeing a guy who can go out and take such a young quarterback like we've seen in years past with Josh Allen and help him succeed.
Elevate him.
In a crazy environment that, like I said, I've never seen that environment in an NFL game in years. That was just amazing. Stephon Diggs, congratulations. You are the Week 5 MVP.
Let me touch on that a little bit. That's my guy.
Yeah, obviously.
It's always going to be my guy, but it hurts, but it's one of those proud, I don't even know. You're proud at the same time because you're like, you see this guy from what he was at a point in his career where he was the best version of the player, and now you see the best version of the teammate of Stephon Diggs, and he's still a great player. So, the only thing that he has going against him right now for me is that he's on the Patriots.
Yeah,
and that he had that performance against us. Obviously that fueled it because it was first game back in Buffalo. And you know what? I don't think many people have bad blood for Diggs in Buffalo. I think it just ended poorly. And that's unfortunate. I think that's always going to be unfortunate too, that they couldn't work something out because obviously, I don't know if you saw it, but Josh and him exchanged at the end their love for each other basically, and how much they still are, care about each other, and they're still friends, which is great to see because you think with, once again, how it ended, maybe that wouldn't be the case.
Yeah. I also have one more stat. Because I feel like this right now, these past 2 weeks is a common theme. I had the one about J.K. Dobbins. I'm going to have the one about Stephon Diggs. Number 1, got the game ball, obviously. Number 2, first Patriots player with consecutive 100-yard receiving games in a season since Julian Edelman in 2019.
Wow. That's some elite company right there. Julian Edelman in 2019, I think he won Super Bowl MVP.
I think so.
So
Yeah.
shout out to. Actually, no. Yes, he did.
Yeah, it was,
in the Rams one,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So he did. Shout out me. Got that right. Moving on now to. Let's talk about a potential MVP.
Speaking about MVPs, let's
Speaking of
move it on.
MVPs, let's keep it going, man. Is the MVP of the NFL in 2025 Baker Mayfield?
I think
Is it?
I think it's a fair conversation to have, and I think one of the reasons why is all their wins have been comeback wins, all of them. There's not a moment in this game where this guy is scared to face a comeback. And I will also point out one more thing, and it's not his stats, it's the way he carries himself. You know, and this guy, I love.
He is the definition of a current day NFL leader.
Yeah, and not only does he lead his team, he is not afraid to talk. You know, C.J. Gardner-Johnson goes in there, says something, boom. His leg was hurting. Not anymore. Not anymore.
It I don't even know. It's like
This is the Oklahoma energy that we
Yep.
needed out of him in Cleveland, in Carolina, and like L.A. I mean, we just need this energy. He's got some Seahawks fans talking to him. He said, "Let's see what you're going to be saying at halftime."
I told you. That's
And
what he said
and he
when
went
he
back.
ran back
And he went back to that same fan.
Yep.
I told you.
I told you. I
So-
told you. And then he closed it out too. So he's definitely putting his money where his mouth is, and his words. He's definitely backing up it with his play. So right now, his first game that he played, it wasn't the best game, but he was efficient. 167 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns against the Falcons in that week 1 game. And then week 2, 215 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 233 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 289 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick, but against the Eagles. So
Happens.
always a tough game. And then the Seahawks, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 379 passing yards, 87.9% completion percentage. This guy's unreal. He knows how to elevate his game in the big moments. That's what you need on an MVP. I think that's the definition of an MVP, rising to the occasion when your team needs you the most.
I agree.
He's definitely done that the most out of anybody in the league this year. And I think right now, I think it's safe to say that Baker Mayfield is at least my MVP, which is crazy to say, but it's not at the same time. He's played that well.
He really has.
He's really proved his number 1 pick status this year.
Yeah, he is. And I'm going to give a really quick shout out to Emeka Egbuka, who's been balling out, the rookie. Absolutely stud at Ohio State. Now an absolutely stud in Tampa Bay. Just want to give him a shout out because he's really helping out.
They're going to be a
that
great
Baker
connection in the
Mayfield.
future. They already are right now, but him, Bucky, and Ibuka for the next few years is going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah.
And they're also doing this with a lot of injuries on their team too. The Bucs are really, they're placing themselves right now as one of the best, well-run organizations in the league because the last, how many years? 5 years. They've been the top of the top. I mean, nobody really talks about them as much as they should, especially after Brady left. Obviously, they got a ton of coverage when Brady was there, but after that, even with Baker coming in, it's been kind of, here and there talks about the Bucs. More talks about the Browns and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we need to, get back on that wave, and the Bucs, I think, are legit.
And I think, like I was just going to mention that they're, in my opinion, one of the front runners for the NFC.
Let's move on now let's go from the front runners to
the backloaders.
the basement dwellers, whatever we want to call them. Let's talk about the coaches, though, of these teams, of the basement dwellers, or maybe not even the basement dwellers, but soon to be basement dwellers.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop saying that, too. So we're going to talk about some coaches that are going to be potentially on the hot seat. We each have 2 of them. And we're going to explain why we think that coach is on the hot seat or should be fired.
Yeah.
So go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to start with, New Jersey's having a bad situation with Aaron Glenn. I think that he's definitely on the hot seat, 0 for 5. He just said in an interview, we're going to embrace the challenge. Well, let's see it. We haven't seen any of it yet. The only competitive game they were really in was the Steelers game in week 1. Other than that, it's kind of just been stat padding. Let's be honest here. So I actually
They pushed the Bucs to the end.
Oh, no, they did.
They did.
Yeah, and he had a lot of fire in that field goal. A lot of fire.
did.
A lot of fire in him. But I forgot about the Bucs game. But I do want to say, finish the game then. Finish the game strong. And I have nothing for the Jets that I can really say except for that Bucs game really nicely about. Next guy I'm going to talk about is Zach Taylor. Now, a lot of people have kind of had him in his middle ground. No, he's on the hot seat. He has superstars on superstars on superstars in the offense. And if you don't have Joe Burrow, how bad are you? Clearly, like really bad. So now they're bringing in Joe Flacco, and let's go see what they can do. And if they don't do well, I think he should be fired. I think they need a new head coach, and I think that new head coach needs to advocate for offensive linemen. That's all I gotta say.
All right, so moving on now to my two. My first one, it might come as a shock, but I don't know, because he seems always pretty safe, because he is a good coach. But just right now, it's not working, and, they might just need a new guy. Cleveland Browns, talking about him again, Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah.
Once a coach of the year in the NFL, not too long ago.
Yeah.
And now, I think, on the hot seat and one of the next guys potentially to be fired. He, like you mentioned before the episode, he did not know about that Joe Flacco trade before it happened. That is not something that should happen in an organization, especially one that's struggling right now and so like QB, I don't want to say dependent, but centric. Like they have so many different options and their team is so revolving. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. But I think for a guy like that, eventually you gotta point out that maybe it's just not working and maybe he needs to go just move on for himself. Maybe the team just needs to move on to a new opportunity with a different coach. It might be better for Gabriel, might be better for Shadur, it might be better for your next quarterback that comes in. But Stefanski might just not be the guy. He might have been Baker's guy. He might not be the guy right now.
I agree.
And then my second guy is Mike McDaniel. I think a lot of people are talking about him being on the hot seat, another AFC East coach. But the time is really ticking for him. I know the Tyreek injury might have bought him a few weeks because he can use that maybe as an excuse of why they might be losing some games. But he's still got Waddle. He's still got Achane. He's still got Tua, who's supposed to be your franchise QB.
Yep.
And your defense is still, pretty much intact. They're just not playing well. So, I don't know. I think that he's a guy where he maybe needs to take a step back in his career as well. Maybe go be an OC for a year. I'm sure somebody, if the Bengals fired Taylor and McDaniel was out there, they might just go pick up McDaniel. That would be a great fit with Joe Burrow, and that offense would be really fun. Now that I put that idea out there, I think that might be what I want to happen.
Yeah.
But maybe get him out of the AFC. I actually like him as a coach. I think his scheme is good.
No, we can keep him in the AFC.
But
keep him in the AFC.
He might be on the hot seat, and I think he will be. If I had to go out of these four, I think he's the first one fired.
Wow. Okay. You want to move on to our next topic?
Yeah, I'm really excited to actually talk about this because we didn't really plan on talking about this, but when we were planning this episode, it kind of just came up.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about how amazing the primetime games have been this year. The Thursday night games, the Sunday night games, and the Monday night games, and the Friday game.
Yeah, there was a Friday game in there.
But all those games have been incredible this year. And obviously we've talked about it on this podcast in years past. They have not been great. And we have not been very thrilled, especially with the Thursday night games.
But
they've stepped up this year for sure.
They really have.
So we got some stats here about the primetime
We're
games.
supporting our thesis right here.
Out of the 18 classified and up to standard primetime games, 12 of them were one-score games. That's pretty impressive.
Yep.
Out of the non-one-score games, the 6 of those, we had a 9-point win, a 10-point win, and an 11-point win. So still
watchable games.
Still pretty close watchable games. So you're telling me that 15 out of 18 games were watchable close games, and also 2 of them went to overtime.
Yep.
One of them was a tie, and honestly, maybe the best game of the year. A few of these went down to the last second, like the Jags game, like the Bills game. Like the Cardinals-Seahawks game.
Yep.
All of these games come down to the wire, and they're all amazing games. Let's talk about week 1 alone. Eagles-Cowboys, 24-20. Chargers-Chiefs, 27-21. Bills-Ravens, 41-40. Vikings-Bears, 27-24. Come on. That's unreal.
I know.
So shout out to Primetime.
We're
shout
back.
Out to,
I think we're so back with
We are
Primetime.
back. That's the best way to say it. We are back with the Primetime. And Primetime's primetime again.
Yeah.
It's primetime.
It's about time.
4:25 is not the primetime slot now.
It was for a long time.
It was.
America's
when the
Game
dusk
of the
was
Year,
falling,
yeah.
that's where you wanted to be, when the lights were kind of seeming to shine a little brighter with the sun coming in.
Prime time.
When the night's out, that's when the stars shine.
I like that. And with all of that, we're going to move on to our Week 6 picks.
After all that.
Karl Anthony Towns. That's a different subject, though. We got week 6 picks. Let's kick
By
it
the
off.
way,
Oh yeah, we were just talking about Primetime. The first game of this slate might not be a good Primetime.
no, and yeah, we do want to preface that this might be an outlier. It might be one of the 7 now bad games, quote, not one-score games that we've seen. I want to change topics for a quick second.
Okay, yeah.
Quick second, and maybe we can talk about this at the end, but I think we should just do it now while I'm
Let's
thinking
do it.
about it. Let's talk about, as we're recording this, the big event that's going on tonight.
The big event that's going on. Oh, okay. Okay, so
Opening night.
I have a direct quote right here, from our CFO Scott Williams. Proud guy to be just a name on the podcast.
If you haven't picked it up yet, we were talking about the huge game tonight between the 0-1 New York Rangers
Oh my god!
and the 0-0 Buffalo Sabres at home.
Just had
At
to
home.
throw it out.
They haven't scored a goal yet this year.
No, we haven't. And that 3-0.
Tonight's the night.
I watched that full game more than I watched the Yankees game the other night.
Tonight's the night.
It was not 3-0. It was 1-0 and 2 empty netters. But direct quote from Scotty Williams. Quote, "Tonight is the Sabres Stanley Cup." End quote. And that is very true because that's
And
every
you
single
know what?
time the Rangers visit town.
And you know what? Every game is our Stanley Cup because that's all we have. The regular season is all we got. It's all I've known for the last
12 years.
I don't even, how long is it? No, more than that.
Really?
14 years.
Woo
Yeah.
wee.
Getting long. Thank God for the Jets. I just keep
Yeah.
saying that because without the Jets, Buffalo would have the longest streak again. And I keep saying this, I think the Sabres get to 17, just like the Bills.
Oof.
Just like the Bills. But whatever, let's get off of hockey now. Excited about hockey to start,
Very
regardless.
excited.
But now on to serious stuff, the Week 6 picks.
Yeah.
And right now, the records for the picks sit at Gavin's 51-27, and I'm just a game behind at 50-28.
So I'll point out we both did horrible last week. We were both 7-7. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, we
500
both 500
is not
That's
good.
not good.
That's not good at all. Let's turn that around this week, both of us. And we have a few swing games, not too many this week, only 3. But let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it. So we have week 6 starting now. Eagles at Giants. I got Eagles.
I got the Eagles as well. I mean,
No explanation.
Saquon going back to MetLife, he's going to tear it up.
We have Broncos at Jets. I got Broncos. Yet again, no explanation needed.
I got the Broncos in a rare week where the Jets and Giants both play at home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, look at that. So we both got Broncos. We both got Eagles. Now we have our first game to really talk about, Seahawks at Jaguars. I think the Jaguars carry in the energy that they've been bringing in these past 5 weeks. I got the Jaguars taking this one, too.
They're a little bit too high for me. I think that the Seahawks are riding low after that close game against the Bucs, and they are 9-1 in the Mike McDonald era on the road.
Wow.
So I'm just gonna point that out. They're scoring a lot, more than Jacksonville's been scoring consistently recently. I think that their defense is slightly better than Jacksonville, but even with that move to get Greg Newsome, who's gonna maybe struggle this week against a good wide receiver core with
That's
the
a really
Seahawks.
good, yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Seahawks and Sam Darnold taking that game
Okay.
in Duval.
In Duval. We have the next game up, Chargers at Dolphins. I don't know the next time I'll pick the Dolphins. Give me Chargers.
Give me the Chargers too. This might be the game that Mike McDaniel gets fired after because they might lose by 35.
That's true. Next game up, we got Rams at Ravens. Lamar is still probably not going to be in. Give me the Rams.
He's listed as doubtful right now, like you said, and I'm going with the Rams as well.
Then next game we have Cardinals at Colts, which I actually think should be a really good game if Kyler Murray plays. But I'm not going to rely on that. I'm going to rely on the team that's hot right now. Give me the Colts.
I'm going to take the Colts too. They're really good at home, and their offense has just been unstoppable this year, honestly.
Especially Jonathan Taylor.
Michael Pittman's had a string of a few good games recently. Tyler Warren's obviously been amazing as a rookie. Brock Bowers type stats. And Daniel Jones obviously been playing pretty well. And shout out that O-line. Really bounced back from a lot of injuries and losing guys the last few years and really building it back up. So shout out to the Colts and shout out to that O-line. And that defense is flying around too. Shout out to Ian.
All right.
Cowboys at Panthers next game.
I got the Cowboys. I like the way that they've played their past 2 games. I think their defense honed it down last week after being the 32nd ranked defense in the league. I still don't love their defense, but I think their offense is better than the Panthers' offense. This might be a shootout. Give me the Cowboys.
I'm taking the Panthers. I'm doing it. I don't love the Cowboys. There's games like this where they go on the road. They think that they're all, good. They're still without CeeDee Lamb. And without CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens is known to have some pretty dud games. And Dak Prescott is known to have some he has some amazing games, but once or twice a year, he has that really bad game. Mm-hmm. Going to Charlotte, this could be a trap game for them on a hot Panthers team who wants to really make a push maybe for the playoffs this year, which is crazy to say, but I'm taking the Panthers in this one. I believe in Bryce Young and that team. Legette's been playing well. McMillan's been playing well. And like you said, Rico Dowdle, he's been that guy for the last week. But we'll see. Could carry on.
Yeah. Next game up, we got Patriots at Saints. I got the Patriots. I'm not going to really explain too much. I love the way they're playing ball right now.
Yeah, I'm taking the Pats. I don't think that the Saints can win 2 in a row. Mm-hmm. And that's my main reason for picking the Pats, especially because their win last week.
Yeah, we have Browns at Steelers. After the bye week, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to sling that thing. Not too crazy, though. Browns' defense is still really good. I'm giving them the respect they deserve on defense, but their offense cannot score against the Steelers' defense. I got the Steelers here.
I think the Browns honestly might get shut out, and I think Gabriel might throw 2 picks. I don't think that they get – I know that I said I really like him, but against the defense like the Steelers, I mean, it's going to be a really, really, really tough test in your second week starting.
Especially away.
TJ Watt coming at you. I mean, the whole defense is just crazy. But, yeah, I'm taking the Steelers in this one. I think this one's going to be maybe the blowout of the week.
Oh, wow. And here we go for the next one. We have Titans at Raiders. And for the first time this year, I'm picking the Titans. I like the way that they can rally in the second half of that game against against Cardinals. They were down 21-6, found a way because of the fumble from DeMercado, and they responded. They had the most Tennessee Titans touchdown I've ever seen of all time. I think there's a little momentum change in Tennessee right now. This might be their only win of the season, only 2 wins of the whole season. But give me the Titans here. I got a feeling.
On the road.
I got a feeling. Well, that's not a hard place to play.
Road
Vegas.
Warriors.
I mean, Vegas and
Arizona are two tough places to play, man. Notoriously.
The Raiders and the Titans, both those stadiums are notorious for other teams coming in and having their fans show up more. So it's kind of weird seeing these two teams play. I don't know. Give me Cam Ward.
I know this is crazy, but I'm taking the Raiders in this game. The way that the Titans won that game last week, they had no business winning that game.
Yeah.
And I think that the Raiders at home, they're a team that I think at home can bounce back pretty well. I think that Pete Carroll can really dial in a team for a week, especially against – they're the better team in this game.
They are.
The Raiders, on paper. Geno just needs to go out and execute. I mean, he's been terrible this year.
He's been riding back.
Maybe you bring in Kenny Pickett for a few drives this game. I don't know. He's still their backup over there. But I think this is a game that Genty makes his name. It really makes his name. And I think that he runs all over the Titans defense, and I think that the Raiders take this one.
All right. We have 49ers at Bucks. I'm going to go with the Bucks here. I really just love the way Baker's playing.
Me too. I mean, MVP right now, like we were talking about before, and the Niners are just a little too injured.
A little too hurt, yeah.
All they really have is CMC right now. Mac Jones might be out for the game as well. Brock Purdy's still out. So a lot of question marks for the Niners. So, yeah, both of us taking the Bucks in that one.
Yeah, we have Bengals at Packers. 4:25 game on CBS.
I got the Packers in this one. I don't think that the team coming off a bye, especially, and people always talk about Joe Flacco already played and beat the Packers, right? He did. Yeah. But he scored 13 points in that game, and he didn't really do much, honestly.
That was Judkins.
And also, the Packers played Joe Flacco, too. People forget about that part of it.
That's very true.
So I feel like they could scheme up something against Joe Flacco and against that defense. I mean, it's going to be his first game in that scheme and whatever. That's always tough, especially, for any quarterback. But
he was also at home against the Packers his first go-around.
Yeah, and he's been on the move this week. He was in London last week, so he's got to learn a whole new playbook on the way down from Cleveland to Cincy. He was reading the playbook. So
4 days.
Yeah.
4 days to prepare for this game.
In Lambeau, too.
In Lambeau. I also have the Packers, obviously. I think this is a perfect week to get that win. And you know what? I'm going to say it. I got a lot of friends at home make fun of me when I say must-win games. This is a must-win game for the Packers. You know, they cannot go down to 500. They just can't. They're 2-1-1 right now. They cannot afford to lose a game to a Bengal team that, on paper, this could be a trap game. but I don't think that defense will let up 40 points again for this season, knock on wood, to a team that shouldn't be. And I don't think the Bengals, I just really like the way the defense matches up, especially that D-line with Rashawn Gary and Micah Parsons, obviously. I think that they're going to find a way to get in there.
Flacco will be touched this week.
I think he will.
Lions at Chiefs is the next game. This is a primetime game.
This
is Sunday night, because there's 2 Monday night games this week, fun fact, once again.
Hate that.
So more chance for primetime games.
True.
Primetime games to shine.
They have a big week.
So Lions, Chiefs. I got the Lions in this one. I think the Chiefs moved to 2-4.
I do too. I have the Lions as well. The way that they have rallied after week 1, I think they are also another one of those teams that we can put in as the most complete team in football as of right now. I think the way the Lions are playing are unreal, and I think the Lions, I'm not going to lie, I think they win by 10 here. I don't even think it's a one-score game.
I agree. Next game, Bills at Falcons. Big game. Frank's going to this game.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Yeah, he's going to be down in the ATL. Shout out. If you're there, say hi.
Yeah.
But I'm going with the Bills. Going with my Bills on the road.
I think this is a perfect time to get a bounce-back win. I got the Bills.
I think throwback uniform matchup this week. We're wearing the white with the standing red buffalo.
Oh, you are?
On the helmet, and they're wearing their throwbacks as
Love
well.
That.
With the red helmet and the black jersey and the white pants.
Something
it's going to be a good jersey matchup.
That's a great jersey matchup.
On Monday night.
I think that something we didn't talk about the most was the greatest jersey matchup I probably ever saw.
We touched on it last week.
We did, but I just got to put a little bit more emphasis on it. That was the greatest jersey matchup I think I've ever seen in my life.
That Bucs Seahawks game he's talking about with the best jerseys in the league, those white creamsicle jerseys with the orange numbers, red outline, and then the Seahawks with the royal blue, white numbers, silver helmet. Looked unreal. Yeah, great point there, Gav. And then the last game of the week is Bears at Commanders, a rematch of that Hail Mary game last year that turned around the Commander season and really spiraled the Bears season. Can the Bears get their revenge in FedEx Field or whatever it's called now, in Landover, Maryland? But I don't think so. I think the Commanders take this one.
I also think the Commanders take this one. I think that the way they beat the Chargers last week on the road is a great way to propel against this Bear team at home.
Yeah, and the Bears, I mean, they've had a really tough schedule this year. I think they're better than the record indicates, but your record's your record. So, I mean, that's your record's who you are.
I agree.
Basically.
I mean, your record shows what you are.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I don't care if it's a hard schedule or not. You play through the hard schedule if you got one.
So if you've been keeping track, that's 15 games. That means there's 2 teams on a bye. Fun fact, Week 6 is the only week of the NFL season where there's 2 teams on a bye.
Yeah.
And those 2 teams are the Texans and the Vikings. So
yeah, and I think the Texans can really use it with their. I mean, I know they had a good game, but I don't think they have momentum yet. So I think this could be a great week for them. And the Vikings also coming off a win as well.
Yeah. Maybe get JJ healthier a little bit and get him back in the game. So yeah. I mean, you got anything else, Gav?
Let's have a great week. Hey, it's midterm break. It's about time, and let's just have ourselves a week.
Let's have a day. Let's have a week. Yeah, thank you guys for listening, and as always, follow our Instagram if you're not already.
At Out of Bounds Podcast, with a dot between every single word.
Yes, it is. Thank you guys for sticking with us, and have a day.
Have a day.